over the years, I learned that there is a lot of power that we can derive from the intersections of our identities. And while the world asks you to be one or the other and to check a box, we all contain multitudes. And when you can embrace those multitudes and the nuances of your identity, I think you can really tap into what's special about your unique point of view and bring that to every room that you walk into.
Elaine Welteroth has built a trailblazing media career. When she was named the editor-in-chief of Teen Vogue, she was the youngest person in Condé Nast history to hold that title. Since then, she's continued to pave the way for change. I sat down with her to discuss her success and why she believes our greatest power lies in our differences.
My mom is African American, my dad is German-Irish, and my brother and I grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood where we were most often the token black friend or the token black student in the classroom. My mother was very diligent and intentional about exposing us to black culture and black communities like the black church and black hair salon. And every time we found ourselves in those spaces, we were sort of deemed not black enough. And so we found ourselves kind of in this in-between, always, like never really feeling like we entirely fit in. Throughout my career, I would slick my hair back into low, tight buns before interviews, thinking that my hair might distract the person who was interviewing me. Maybe it would come across as not polished or not professional, because that's what we're told. At some point, I realized embracing it was actually an edge. It was actually, it represented a point of difference. And if I was bold enough to walk into an interview with my hair as it is naturally, I think it says something about my confidence and my ability to think outside the box and to be who I am no matter what. And in the right corporate culture and the right environment, that's an asset. And that's the kind of environment I want to be in.
One of the things that struck me, when I talk to people who've had successful careers, oftentimes they will take, non-linear paths. And what was really interesting to me was reading that you had a very clear vision of what you wanted to do. How did you think about this blueprint of success and mapping out your career when at times there are things that are often beyond your control?
I was somebody who grew up in a very small town, didn't know anyone in New York City, didn't know anyone in any of the industries I was interested in pursuing a career in. And so there was a lot of pressure to prove myself and to just feel worthy of being in these spaces and having these jobs and just grinding in order to make a name for myself. I always knew going into the magazine industry that this was like kind of the first stop, and I was going to take it as far as I possibly could. And then I knew there was going to be a leap of faith at some point that I'd have to make to build out the next sort of building blocks of my own career. I just didn't expect it to happen by 30. I didn't expect to kind of hit those goals in my magazine career so soon, but when I did, I had to keep that promise to myself to keep growing and keep building. I never wanted to be someone who was defined by just one title, by one success. And I never wanted to be someone who becomes complacent or who stops growing.
You talk a lot about the fact that you are born with enough, and that you should never feel small or let the world in any way make you feel small. Talk a little bit about why those words and that mantra for you have become so powerful and defining around so many of the things that you've done.
Your life is a series of dreams realized, and you do not have to be defined by one job title, by one success, by one failure, by one relationship, by one dream. You get to dream up new dreams. You get to pivot. You get to continue to blossom, and that's the beauty of life.